What's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to Geoguessr Explained. Today we're doing the play along maps once again. You can find the links for today's episode and tomorrow's episode in the description, so play them before you watch this, ideally. Otherwise, just stay along for the ride, and let's see how we go here today, starting off on Diverse World, on what appears to be a relatively rural round here. So I immediately know the country, and that I would say is mostly based on the dirt road plus this vegetation. So let's check out what we got going on here. Yeah. So, I mentioned last episode these kind of wooden fences that you often find in Oceania and South Africa. That is definitely a kind of a clue here. Metal mixed with wooden. Definitely most common around that part of the world, I would say. Then we also have these kind of trees here. Now these trees, I don't really know what they're called. They kind of like look a bit succulent on the top. These ones are pretty much found in New Zealand only, or like they're very much common in New Zealand and very uncommon elsewhere. And you can see more of these here. That's how I knew it was New Zealand when we loaded in. This might be a eucalyptus tree, but that only indicates that we're probably in northern New Zealand rather than just being Australia. Also, dirt road, I heard from someone who plays a lot in New Zealand that dirt road coverage like this is often in the north of the country. So that's what I'm thinking here, going for North New Zealand, Generation 2 dirt road. I think that was a bit of a meta. These flowers are often found in like Madeira, like Portuguese islands. You can find those in Australia and New Zealand as well. And this bollard, which is yellow, it's normally white, but sometimes these plain bollards can be found in New Zealand. So I'm 100% sure about New Zealand, but I do think north here is the best, and it was actually. So yeah, I think that that tends to be a pretty consistent meta, that it's in Northland that you find those dirt road Generation 2 coverage rounds. Next one here, this one is, where's it starting off looking at some English here, so that's definitely a big help. We've got a blue car with a short antenna, that's a help as well. Black and white curb. We have long number plates here as opposed to short ones, so that's also helpful. And we have 011 area code. So let's combine a bit of this. So with long number plates and English language, that should pretty much place you somewhere in Britain or South Africa, Southern African countries, or maybe Kenya. Kenyan number plates aren't quite as long and thin as this, but yeah. And then I would say, just based on the infrastructure, the fact that all the houses have walls around them, this should be somewhere in South Africa, right? Generation 4 with the blue car as well, out of the South African nations at this stage is only in ZA. Then we have 011 area code, which is, 011 is pretty easy to remember, that's Johannesburg. So 012 in Pretoria, then it goes to the next biggest city would be 021 in Cape Town, 031 for Durban, and then 041 for Nabeha, and then 051 for Bloemfontein. I think that's about right. Could be the other way around. I think it's 051 Bloemfontein. Anyway, that's pretty much what you need to know for South African phone codes. Everything above 5 is just the mobiles. So yeah, this is just Johannesburg, and we are indeed correct there. So we're starting off with a pretty stonking score so far. Next one here, we're outside of Toowoomba, which is somewhere here in Brisbane, but let's near Brisbane. Let's take a look at what we could have gotten to get Queensland here. Blue car driving left-hand side of the road. That's the other side of the highway there. We've got Australian bollards. These kind of black-based ones. If you have a big black base, then it should be somewhere in Western Australia. Smaller black base can be found in Queensland. These kind of thick arrow signs are very much most common in Queensland. If they're a bit thinner, then, or like a bit less stretched, then they should be everywhere, but these thick ones are very common in Queensland. Black and yellow bollards like these two are only in Queensland and maybe occasionally Northern Territory, so that's good as well. This pole marking is Queensland, and then these places, obviously Brisbane is pretty easy there, so we should be going like on the A2 to Toowoomba there. We're probably halfway between or something like that. Very quick, typical Queensland with kind of like a bit of a tropical feeling to it here. This light blue car is more common in Queensland and New South Wales, North New South Wales, so definitely keep that in mind. If it's darker blue, it means less, but yeah. Anything else to say here? No, I don't think so. So just going to kind of click between the two cities here. We're somewhat on the A2, which is here. We saw this place name, so I'll just click there, and we were 500 meters away. In fact, we basically managed to 5k it. So let's head into the next round here. Oh, another easy one. This is going to be a huge score. This could literally be my best ever ADW score, potentially. Anyway, got double yellow lines on the outside here, so thinking of Great Britain, I just think it's going to be quite easy to find here based on the vibes. It feels like all the way south, especially this plant here, like the one we found in New Zealand. Feels very southern, right? Although, I could also see sometimes you get like a very warm climate around this region here. So I just want to quickly check there if we can see this place called Salcombe. Harbour. I wonder if that's actually... It says .uk and we got yellow red plates, so we know we're in the United Kingdom, mixed with the yellow outside lines. But, yeah, red bricks. So I do wonder about this section. That would be my second option, but really, I feel like this... It is interesting. I can see with these houses, it being Scotland, and this just being that really warm area. Feels like we do have ocean south, though, so I think I have to click South Coast here. Makes more sense, all things considered. And I guess, like, most likely kind of areas would be, like, somewhere... Like, as I said, this should be, like, relatively findable with this kind of cove area. Like, this kind of thing could work here, or somewhere around Portsmouth. This kind of area, yeah... Wonder, Exmouth kind of area, maybe. This kind of area. I don't know, there is actually a lot of places this could be. I feel like it's very southern, but... Or, in that other place I mentioned, I'm just going to go southern here, Southampton area. Ends up being this place here, that makes a lot of sense. It was actually findable, Salcombe, so there you go. We could have gotten it, but yeah, South Coast is a fine guess there. Definitely, like, had a warmer vibe to it, just like pay attention to climate, and it's not always easy to tell if you're a newer player, but yeah, keep an eye out on it, and maybe you can gauge something that you didn't initially see when you loaded in. Next one here, we are driving right hand side of the road. We got the blue car, the blue bonnet of the car here, white painted signpost. Did make me think of Colombia initially, but this sign almost looks black at the back, which is something you would see, of course, in Brazil. I do think this is Brazil, and actually we do have a Brazilian pole here. We have a Christ the Redeemer mini statue here. We also have the dots at the top of the pole, mixed with like a squarish looking pole, which is the Brazilian style, of course. This feels quite northern to me. I thought of something like, okay, here's the thing. You get a lot of this kind of like very green, bushy coverage in Rio Grande do Norte and Ceará. I think this might be more Piauí, though. Reason being that we have the blue car instead of the white one. So this one with the kind of blue fully instead of blue on either side, and with white in the middle, or whatever it is. Also, yeah, houses feel quite Piauí as well, I would say. So yeah, definitely liking Piauí here. Anything else to say? I don't know, that bushy kind of like... bushiness on the side of the road is very like this kind of northeast region, north central, northeast. Anything else to say here? Yeah, I don't know. It's very Brazil. Like just look at the pole. The white painted signpost is more Colombian, but yeah, we got a bit of a black back of the sign there. You can barely make out, and it was actually just in Paraíba there. That makes sense. So yeah, you definitely do see that kind of thing. In Paraíba as well with the blue car. It's just in the west side of Norte and Ceará that you see the white car. But anyway, not a bad score there, 23.2. Definitely should be up there on the scores, but it was an easy seed definitely to begin with anyway. Joseph coming out with a dub there, 23.4, so it has to be happy with that. But let's go check out some of the people who did a bit more poorly here, because you can see the scores definitely drop off quite quickly on a seed like this, especially with that New Zealand. I see not many people getting the right region there. But okay, let's check out some people a little bit lower today, just to give some more, basic hints today. So I'm going to choose June and Trips here, who both got about 15k. So let's check out what the deal was. So the Brazil one was definitely tough, especially if you didn't notice the Brazil poll. I can understand an Argentina guess there. Anything to say particularly? We probably had a long white number plate. I didn't really choose to talk about that, but yeah, we normally see a black number plate in Argentina. The bushes here, you'd see more trees in Minas, where just more bushes kind of in the northeast. Good guesses here. The South African round was pretty straightforward, so I like that. As for the New Zealand, we had very different guesses here. Firstly, Ecuador, which, I think there was like a bunch of like things in this round to definitely tell that it was more of a Western country. I think you saw like a mailbox or something. Maybe I imagined the mailbox. Yeah, like this kind of fence would be more of like a Western country kind of fence. It does kind of look like Ecuador, in all honesty. Like it's Generation 2 with the wide blur at the bottom, so it can't be Ecuador. They don't have that. But apart from that, apart from this eucalyptus tree, I could definitely see Ecuador. Not a terrible guess. But yeah, it's just kind of knowing that camera stuff. New South Wales guess, not terrible. But yeah, just had a kind of a more of a like a tropical feel mixed with that kind of New Zealand, those New Zealand trees. We didn't see many eucalyptus. We only saw like one, and you you would see many more in Australia, basically on every single round. These guys both nailed this one. Toowoomba, they both knew, so that's good. And then we moved on to the last one, which was UK. They kind of just hedged middle. As I said, like I feel like this kind of area you do get like a weird warmness to, but it would basically should have been South Coast there. And so yeah, pretty good seed there. And good job to Joseph there. Pretty impressive to get 24.3. Let's move on to USA. This is the USA special, so let's see how things are hanging as we head into the first round here, which is lacking front plates. So I think in the US special we should talk about where front plates are. Okay. So in terms of, you can draw this line like this. There is this kind of latitude here. Every state below this is using no front plates at all. Apart from Texas and California, Kentucky is also no front plates, and that's because every state that also touches Ohio doesn't use front plates. Now, Ohio recently introduced no front plates as well, so that should be in Generation 4. Then we also have, I think it's Delaware, not using front plates, and... Does Maryland? I think Maryland does, but I can't remember. And then Nevada. Do they? That's another question. I can't remember Nevada, but someone in the comments can say. It doesn't really matter. As long as you remember most of them, you should be pretty good here. Bit of red on the plate there, which is interesting. Red on the plate would remind me of Massachusetts. I think Massachusetts. But we don't have front plates, so you have to rethink that. I mean, it is tropical looking. We have like some palms here, so that would make it unlikely anyway. Ooh, a bit of... interesting. I am thinking of almost like a bit of Florida here, just because it's so flat. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I love that either. So let's just take a look more around here. We might have to do a bit of digging here to get the right one. In terms of getting that this wasn't Canada, it's neighborhood spelled O-R, and I think they would go O-U-R in Canada where they use the British spelling, so that's a good little tip, but we know we're US because of the map. Okay, let me think here if we can actually decipher these plates properly. So that one's kind of more so like a reddish yellow almost. Any other states that I think could fit with that? I thought like Alabama, Mississippi maybe. But, yeah, what about this direction? Again, kind of like a reddish color there. Hard to say. Maybe even, I don't know. I actually don't know. Blue street signs as well. Something that's more Canadian, but you definitely see in US. Not quite sure where to go with this one, guys. We do have, like, some very tropical looking trees around the spot here. We also, though, have, like, some more northern looking architecture. So that's why I still think, like, something like Delaware could be possible here. Maybe. Maybe it is too many palms, though. But then what state along here would actually make sense plates-wise? I'm not so sure. Maybe Georgia, but yeah, I don't love it. Yeah, I think I might go Georgia here. Second options being like Florida, Mississippi, Delaware. I know they're like quite far apart from each other, but I'm just not quite sure here. It's too green for something like too far west, I think. And we don't have front plates. I probably would have like considered Texas here had we had front plates, but we don't. So yeah, that's what I got to go for here. If this is quite a bit further north, I will be kind of confused because we have quite a few palms here, especially these two. Just growing in the front yard wouldn't really make sense. So that's my thought here. Let's find out where it actually is. And it was actually New Orleans. There we go. That makes sense. I actually kind of want to give a little Google here to Louisiana license plate and see what it actually is here. So yeah, it has a yellow on it. I forgot that. I think normally they kind of just use this this kind of normal looking one like this. I forgot about this one, which is the alternative one, which we saw two of there. Got a bit confused. So if you knew your license plates there, that's obviously a pretty reasonably easy round, but I forgot it. And a number of people 5K'ing there. Yeah, architecture makes total sense for New Orleans there as well. Kind of those wooden, kind of older style houses. Anyway, so I forgot that, and it definitely wasn't Georgia number plates, so it wasn't a really good guess, but I'd just forgotten that. Anyway, that's why I said Texas was quite possible, because it did also kind of look like Texas. But okay, next one here, we are looking at no front plates again, so same applies to as last round. California flag here, though, and we do have front plates. Excellent. So just one car without fronts there. Everything else should be Cali plates, which are kind of white, which are kind of blue text, red on top. Red on top says California, one of the most iconic ones. And so this almost feels a bit like Bay Area with the green hills in the background. Almost like Bay Area feels quite, what would you say, like quite similar to South Australia where I live, with these green hills in the background. So I often get it for that. We have the city here. I don't recognize the city name. I wouldn't really be thinking too far south here. I would be thinking here, maybe even further north. But yeah, I don't really feel like scanning. I don't think that really teaches anything anyone anything. So let's just see if we can actually gain any more context here. We do have quite a few palms, which you see in California a lot. There's not too many states where you get a lot of palms, so that's useful. Yeah, I think Bay Area here is my main guess. And I would think it's not too far from the coast, so maybe Santa Rosa area here. Should click one of these towns here. Yeah, I don't know. Could be LA area, but it feels a bit green and a bit temperate. And these green hills in the background, which we saw, which direction? Here. Don't really fit, so that's why I'm going to go up there. And it was 21 kilometers away. There actually was the town, so we moved from a bad guess to a good guess there. That's at least redeeming some of my reputation there. Next one here. This feels quite a bit further north. We got this wood panel architecture, which kind of looks a bit Canadian. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm using to say this is northern. What do we got here? We do have like some state shields. These are very learnable. Not that I've done that. I only know a few, especially the ones with a state outline. Oh, we have one with a state outline there, maybe. A bit hard to see. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. This might be like state specific. I don't know it though. So if you know that, like, I'm gonna call on some USA experts. Next time I do a USA special, I'll definitely bring on someone who's better than me because I couldn't say I provide the most here. Oh, this street light is interesting as well. I bet that's unique. We do appear to have front plates here, a bit of green on it. I was thinking Vermont anyway. Now, I'm not sure if that's green enough to be a Vermont plate, so maybe New Hampshire could work here as well. Don't mind that. Pardon me. Bit of a black number plate over there. Not really sure what the deal is here, but it definitely feels like kind of New England-ish, so I probably will just go for that. Yeah, when you see Canadian architecture clicking near the border, that definitely works out decently well here. Other thoughts, I could see Maine, I could see Vermont, New York, even something a bit further west over here is possible, but we do have a lot of trees. It feels quite forested in a way that you'd probably see more so in New England. So I'm going to go for the guess here, and it was actually just over in Maine there, but a pretty good guess. Actually, Maine, I think that was a Maine license plate with a little bit of green on it, but to be honest, yeah, it's very much worth learning them, but I don't really know them that well. I just kind of vaguely know what colors they are, and that helps me out for some of them. But anyway, we have that like that checkerboard giveaway thing in Maine there. So maybe it kind of looks like the Canadian one. So maybe that's a good way to remember if it is actually a Maine thing. Anyway, next one here we have marriage parking. Could we be in like Nevada or something like that? Is that like because you can go there for easy marriages? That's my logic so far. Nevada's one of those ones where I forgot if they have front plates, but this place has front plates. We got like a polar bear here, but I'm not convinced this is actually that cold of a place. Although it could be just quite a bit further north. Ooh, Washington Street, Reno. Yeah, we're in Reno. So yeah, that was actually kind of crazy. The marriage parking, Chapel of the Bells weddings. That's so depressing, bro. I don't know, something about getting married in a place like this is just weird as. Yeah, so a bit of blue on the plates there, as far as I can tell. Definitely using front plates though, so yeah, Nevada using front plates, yeah, that line rule then works pretty well. So yeah, we're in Reno, Nevada here. That's why it's a bit further north feeling. It is a bit colder here, a bit of snow coverage. Anything else to say? I mean, yeah. It's a bit like weird, like with these like kind of golden casino looking buildings here, like I don't know, that's probably a decent meta, honestly, for Nevada, and because that's where it's mostly deregulated or allowed, that kind of gambling. Anything else to say? Yeah, wedding meta, that's how we got it this time, so let's head in for the guess here. We're 100 meters away, we got almost the 5k there. Randomly clicking in the right part of the suburb there, so that's good. And we are actually sitting on a good score, despite a poor start. But let's check out what we got going on next here on the final round. Bed and breakfast in South Maine, but I don't think that's Maine the state. Although, the landscape here could possibly fit, I don't really love it. So let's take a look around here, see if we have front plates. No front plates on that car. This kind of leads me to believe we might be in like Kentucky, Tennessee kind of area. Those had a lot of like Generation 3 winter coverage. And this definitely like feels kind of right. We have like some southern pines here as well. So yeah, definitely thinking more so southern states. Red flag there. Arkansas has a red flag. Do I kind of like Arkansas here? It is sufficiently flat. Arkansas had a red flag, right? I'm pretty sure it did. So yeah, maybe I actually guess Arkansas just like, It is quite a bit further over, just near Memphis here, maybe. I don't know if I love it. I definitely preferred Kentucky and Tennessee, but I'm pretty sure they have a red flag. We have another one there. Or is that just McDonald's? Can't tell. It's America. You never know. Yeah. I guess I have to go for it here. I just remember that Arkansas has a red state flag, so I think that's my thought here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely Southern Pines here. So that would fit. The flat, kind of like a bit rolling landscape fits as well. And it is kind of depressing and a bit ugly. So, no offense to Mr. Rainbolt, but yeah, his home state, not the most appealing out of all of them. Yeah, I guess I'll go for that. This may be horribly wrong, but I hope the state flag knowledge actually pays off here. And it did not pay it off at all. It was South Carolina. So I wonder what that red flag was. I mean, we can look up the South Carolina. This is going to be one of those normal blue flags, I think. Carolina, blue, yeah. That's the state flag there. So whatever that was, it was not it. It was right in latitude, so we did have those Southern Pines, predictably. But yeah, I mean, a Tennessee guess would have been better off, but I mean, not that much better off. So there we go. It was 18k to finish this off there. We had 3 really good guesses and 2 rather poor ones, though they were kind of had the right idea, just were in the wrong execution, wrong area. So let's check out how people did here. I don't think I need to like provide too much in the way of commentary here, but definitely the scores have like really dropped off quickly here by the time we get down to number 25. So let's just pick someone who did a bit worse than us here. I think most people let's pick someone who didn't 5k in like the Reno round. So yeah, I think we'll go for Drew and Meisterwood here, and Meisterwood. And see how they did. So yeah, Reno, they're both missing. Going Colorado, that's reasonable. The Cali one, they actually both had good guesses as well. I just feel like I have a really good sense for the Bay Area because it looks like South Australia where I come from. So yeah, those kind of green hills in the background. I think Redding actually kind of has quite a bit of that as well, but maybe the mountains are a bit bigger. And then Eugene, not a bad guess either, I would say. These guys both getting closer than me on New Orleans. Not really surprised that Drew and the other person get closer than me. That was kind of the worst guess of the bunch. This one, we had one really close guess, maybe recognizing the main plate. One guess, which is mine. One Georgia guess there. So I think that those kind of wooden paneled houses mixed with the lack of pines and the lack of kind of any palms, that probably indicates away from Georgia, away from the South. The South Carolina, they both went fairly north there. I think the wintry kind of coverage can confuse you, but those pines with the wide spreading branches that we saw would discourage from going up there. And then that is it. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. USA definitely not my strong suit, but hey, if I can pull 18k on average, that would be pretty good. So anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. What's going? It's your boy. Next time. Goodbye. Weirdest outro. Doesn't matter. I'm just freestyling it because it's one take, gang. So, as Rainbow would say. Anyway, goodbye, guys. Catch you later.